They are very much a home from home sanctuary. So we have dozens of sofas, of TVs, basically little living rooms for these pets. A lot of our volunteer base actually get involved with us because they're missing the companionship of a pet.
Hi, Carl.
Hello, how are you doing?
Yeah, very good. I'm Luca, and this is the Living Care Company channel podcast. And what we like to do is speak to care specialists and people that work within the care world and charities and things like that to help people navigate through the care journey. And for us listeners who are unfamiliar with the Cinnamon Trust, just tell us a bit about yourself, what you do for them, and what the Cinnamon Trust does, please.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, first of all. I'm from the Cinnamon Trust. My name's Kyle. I work in the marketing department. The Cinnamon Trust, we're a charity who support older people and terminally ill people with their pets. So whenever there's sort of a hurdle with owning a pet, we try to find volunteers that can help overcome that. So if you're struggling to get out and walk your dogs, we have people that volunteer as dog walkers. If you live alone, you don't have any family, and you need somebody to look after your pet while you're in hospital, we have volunteers that do short-term fostering and things like that. So just trying to support people to stay with their pets for as long as possible.
Yep. How long has the Cinnamon Trust been around?
We're actually celebrating our 40th year this year. So
Who
yeah,
was the founder?
the founder, she's called Miss Avril Jarvis. Some sad news, unfortunately. She passed away just this week. So yeah, we're obviously all absolutely gutted that she's left us, but her legacy's living on with all of us. Yeah, nothing's going to stop here. We're going to keep going. We're going to build, and we're going to come back stronger.
And so what was her name again? It was
Avril Jarvis.
Avril. How did she come up with the idea? I suppose it was just through herself helping her neighbours or friends or whatnot.
Yeah, she was a very caring lady, and it was an absolute mission that she took upon herself to take, really. She just within her own community, she found a few people that were really struggling with pet care, and for no fault of their own, had to say goodbye to their pets. And she saw this and thought that this absolutely shouldn't be happening. There's so much good things that come from pet ownership. It's a sense of purpose. Sometimes it's somebody's only companion, and to have to say goodbye to them because of your own health, it is just absolutely devastating. So she set this up literally from her kitchen table, and over the years, it's just built and built with like-minded people wanting to join the cause, wanting to help people that are in a position, as was the people that she met at the start of her journey.
Now, I know the Cinnamon Trust is based in Cornwall, but where was Avril based? In Cornwall as well?
Yeah, we're based in Hale, and she has lived around Hale for many years. She actually lived in a small village, only sort of 5 minutes drive from the office here. But yeah, started out in Cornwall, and she had a lot of friends in high places, I should say. She was an avid corgi lover. She had a lot of friends, lots of like professional breeders and showers and stuff like that. She attended crufts for many years, so she had people all around the country that were corgi lovers, and that's how it first started spreading, and that spread out to all dog lovers. And before you knew it, she had a decent network all over the UK.
So would it be true to say that your volunteers who help people with their pets who are maybe frail or may have dementia or whatever they're living with, is it mainly walking and feeding and maybe taking them to the vets and things like that?
Yeah,
What sort of help do they give people?
we try not to sort of limit ourselves
Yeah.
to exact things really, but a majority of what we do is sort of dog walking, transport to vet, to changing of cat litter trays when people aren't
Yep.
as dexterous as they used to be, they can't bend over, things like that. But really, we try to say if there's something that's preventing you from being able to care for your pet the way you hope, that we will try and find somebody that can support you with that. And it's not just cats and dogs. We have people that say that they have a companion llama and they're struggling to brush it or change the hay, whatever it may be. Yeah, we've helped all sorts, and we will continue to do so.
Yep. Do you know how many people that you're helping across the country, say as of today?
Yeah, so I don't have the exact numbers, but we help within the region of 150,000 people every year. That may not be directly walking for them, for example, but that can be help, advice, reassuring them that there's contingencies in place if they pass away, or supporting them with their pets.
Yes. Yeah. And it is quite a sensitive subject. If someone doesn't have family that's probably going to inherit the cat or the dog or the animal, what sort of help can you give, and what help can you draw upon to help the person rest easy that the animal will be cared for and looked after?
Yeah, we have a service called pet profiling, which is essentially provisions for if you had to pass away or move into permanent care where you can't take your pet with you. So in that scenario, we have an agreement that we'll step in and we'll take on ownership of your pet and make sure that they're loved and cared for forevermore. So that would be in the home of a long-term foster volunteer, or it may be in one of our sanctuaries. We have a couple of sanctuaries that are medically dependent pets that might find it difficult to adapt to another person's home, for example. But we have this agreement that if you contact us ahead of time, if you're worried that you don't have any family or friends, anybody to step in if you are to pass away, that will be that safety blanket for you. If something happens to you, we have like emergency cards we send out that you can put in your wallet if it happens in the street. You can put them in your window if an ambulance comes around and sees that we've got this phone number you can call. We'll spring straight into action. We'll find somebody to take on your pet as soon as we can and find temporary care until that's possible. So we'll make sure that, they're safe as soon as you're out of the picture.
I'm sure you must have 1,000 sort of touching stories about people and their pets and how you guys have helped, but give us one or two of your favourite ones.
Yeah, everyone you ask at the Trust is going to have their own sort of ones because we all work with different people. But one that particularly comes to mind was a lady called Liz, and she had a companion horse actually called Luca.
Really?
Luca.
Oh, okay.
And
very good name for a horse.
Yeah, it's a great name. But she was a terminally ill lady. She was very stoic. She was at home for a lot longer than what people thought she would be. And she was still going out into the field and mucking out her horse when you just would never think that she should be in a position to do that. Her companion gave her the strength to keep going. And she did it right up until the end, until she was unfortunately moved into a hospice. I took a call from one of her friends to say that this has happened, and we were preparing ourselves to find a forever home for Luca, which we did relatively quickly. In the meantime, however, we wanted to make sure that she was able to say goodbye the way that she wanted to. And we arranged for Luca to be taken to the hospice, and the lovely ladies at the hospice allowed him to come out into the courtyard just outside. They wheeled her bed outside so she could, say a proper goodbye, and he could too. And it was incredible. You could see him right away. He knew where Mum was. He stuck his head right next to her. He wanted a fuss, and it really was like they were, saying their last goodbyes.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, it's obviously very hard when an animal passes away too. So I suppose you must end up supporting people who themselves having difficulties, and then that their own pet passes away.
Yeah, a lot of our volunteer base actually get involved with us because they're missing the companionship of a pet. It may be that they're not ready to take on a pet themselves again. It may be that they're a student, they're in student accommodation, they can't have a pet. It might be in a flat where they can't accept pets, but they're really missing the companionship of an animal, and get that fix really through helping other people. So we have an awful lot of people that are, dealing with the loss of pets or not being able to have one, and getting their animal fixes through us, which is incredible. It helps the owner, it helps the pet, and it helps the volunteer. It's a win.
Yep. And how is it that obviously the charity must rely heavily on volunteers? How does someone get involved, and what sort of things can they do to help?
Yeah, we are entirely reliant on volunteers. So without people volunteering their time and their energy, we simply wouldn't be here. So we need volunteers all over the country, wherever you are. If you have a spare 10 minutes to fill out a form, please just go to our website. It's cinnamon.org.uk, and you'll find a section to become a volunteer. You can read all about our history. You can see about the things that we do. But you can register to become a volunteer and let us know the types of things that you'd be happy to help with. And should there be somebody in your local area that needs help with that particular task, we'll come calling and hopefully match you up and get you out there.
Amazing. And so tell us about your animal sanctuaries. So where are they and what do they do? And
Yeah,
what makes
we
them
only
so
have two
special?
right now. We got one in Cornwall, which is about 20 minutes from our head office here, and one in Devon. Yeah, because we started off as charity down in the southwest, that's where our sanctuaries were established. But hopefully in the future we may be able to expand that and get more. But they are a bit like people's homes really, but for animals. So they are very much a home from home sanctuary. So we have dozens of sofas, of TVs, basically little living rooms for these pets. We have a bunch of dogs that all live as a family together. We have staff 24/7 that cook them home cooked meals, that stay with them, give them fuss and cuddles, and love and care for them as their owners did throughout their lives. So it's really an extension of that home environment, but in the security of a sanctuary where we have medically trained staff that can manage particular needs, can give injections, massage, physio, all those good things that when you get a bit older you may need, and that not everybody out there in the community is comfortable with giving. So it can be quite difficult. If you look at rescue organisations, they often can't even take pets of a particular age. And when we've made a promise to somebody that we will look after their pets if they're not here, age isn't a concern for us. We want to make sure that we follow that promise to the dot. And if that means we have to, take them into a custom built sanctuary where they can have staff and home cooked meals and get all the help they need, that's exactly what we'll do.
I think you mentioned you're in charge of marketing, Carl. I suppose a big part of your job is finding or reaching potential volunteers. Is that right?
Yeah, so we
And how do you do that?
with being a charity, it's obviously difficult because there's a lot of the time we're just relying on word of mouth. It's people speaking about the trust, appearing on podcasts like this. It's about getting the word out there any way we can, really.
Yep.
But it's such a great cause that once you tell somebody about it, they'll tell somebody else and say, "Have you heard this great charity?"
Yep.
It's simply about getting out there and becoming that household name, and that's really what we strive to achieve. But most of the time, it's social media, posters. We still ask volunteers to pop a poster in a window of a local vet, or in a church magazine, whatever it may be. If we're really struggling for volunteers, any way we can get the word out there, we're grateful for.
Did you know, you probably do, that Google will provide a certain amount of money per year to charities to fund their pay-per-click campaigns?
I have seen, yeah, you have an allowance that you can apply for granting and stuff like that. And yeah, that's certainly in the plans. Hopefully we can make use of that. But at the moment, we're updating a lot of areas, and you may have seen that our website's changed literally within the last month. So we are gradually getting up to speed, renewing everything, and yeah, getting out there and having a brand new, fresh face that we've needed for some time.
Yeah. 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 You've got to create some interesting content, just basically showing what you do. I'm sure that will achieve lots of your goals.
Yeah.
Obviously, with a charity like yours, there will be people giving bequeathments and giving money after they've passed away to a charity, or maybe just small donations. But what other sorts of funding do you work with?
We're entirely reliant on donation and fundraising. Yeah, we have people that fundraise for us. We have people that do events or sponsorship, and we very much in our 40th year, we're encouraging that. We're hoping that everybody will join our 40 for 40 campaign, which is to try and raise £40 for 40 years of the Cinnamon Trust and do that in as creative of a way as possible. So that's just one thing we're doing. But yeah, a lot of our funding, as you say, comes through legacies. It's people that bequeath either their pets to us or simply want to give to charity in the event of their passing. Yeah, but it's a lot of our funding is through people just donating because they love what we do.
Carl, just for our listeners who would like to get involved, how can they contribute to the Cinnamon Trust, whether it's through donations or volunteering or just spreading the word? What's their
Yeah,
first steps?
well, first port of call, please go to our website, which is cinnamon.org.uk. And on there, you can basically find your own path on the website of how you wish to support us. There is a section which is how may I support the trust? And if you click on that, it may be that you're interested in giving your time. It may be you're interested in donating, or you might just want to, see what you can do with your business, or a club that you might want to do a bit of sponsorships or fundraising for. However you want to support us, hopefully there'll be a nice clear path for you to follow to do that. You can check out our social medias. If we're doing any events or anything, that'll appear on our social media, but just following us, sharing our stuff, that's massively helpful in itself.
Yeah. Just thinking, actually, the name Cinnamon Trust, I take it that was one of the first pets that Avril looked after, was it?
It was actually her own corgi. Yeah, the corgi is very present in our branding still, but Cinnamon was her corgi. Yeah, she was, as Avril was setting up the trust, literally right at the start of the journey, she lost her corgi Cinnamon, and she thought it was fitting to name the charity after her.
Oh, so sweet. That's a great thing. Great work that you guys are doing. And thank you ever so much for your time, Carl.
No worries.
Cheers.